contest has reached its climax. The game is almost done. Soon we will know who has lost and who has won. On this sad and mournful day, during what was supposed to be a time of merriment and joy that soon turned into a disgusting scene, where all that we have worked on is now nothing but dust. Oh, how did it come to this, where brother fights brother, and the streams run salty with the tears of crushed hopes and broken dreams? O Calliope, great muse, guide my hand, as I sing of this great contest by a merry band, of young ruffians in the air duels, who love raising hell. On this warm sunny day the band came together, with mischief in mind for this fair weather. But before these acts were to begin, as all was prepared and ready within, one young member asked a question that would soon lead to the obsession that would soon grip the roguish band, an obsession caused by Eris's own hand, an obsession as great as the one that befell the Greeks after the great Achilles fell. Its chaos was unplanned, as 'twas the custom of the band, but it sowed many bitter seed that would sprout into evil weeds. Planned or unplanned, the result was the same. It was the spark that ignited the flame that consumed the joyful band, and brought about its destruction by its own hand. The question that caused such heartbreak, that went through the band like an earthquake, 'twas who shall be our leader for this glorious day, who has the wisdom, strength, and cunning to stay the dreaded tongues of flames and pain, so that the day will be no cost and all gain. Who can keep us out of the stew and lead us through, like how mighty Jason led his Argonauts, like ancient astronauts, past the clashing rocks, and onward to outfox Colchis' wily king, to bring back the greatest bling. So who among us can lead us past danger, trouble, and pus? The question once said could not be unsaid, though once its powers was felt and the people had bled. Its author surely wished that he had not been so hasty and rash, and had been akin to Cassandra, cursed always to be right, but never believed outright. That he now feels is lesser to the two evil aggressors that now stand poised to lead the band with much noise, to where we do not know, only that it will bestow destruction on our kith and kin. Its horrors unimaginable before it even begins, but alas, the question was said, the troubles it has caused have only bred. When the question was first posed, many of the band disclosed a desire to be the one to lead, but soon the band chose to heed the arguments of three. These noble three were the most free of all the members of the merry band. Each of the three had a firm enough hand to do what the unwilling prophet command, but each of the three were so grand that the band could not even decide how to divide the curd from the whey. So then in the way of the merry band, the great challenge was brought forth by many hands, and it was set forth and placed in the testing field, and a judge was appointed to wield the power necessary to create this great contest and keep it straight. The judge gathered them all and said to them, "Gentlemen, do you agree by the great phlegm that you will hold today's proceedings as holy as Bible readings?" "Yes, we do," the three replied, too knowing that they had just lied. And now the great contest is ready to begin. We can only pray that the just one will win. The mighty three now take their places, hoping not to betray anything on their faces, and hope to throw their weapons in an arc to land nearest to the divine mark that will grant them the divine right to rule, and bestow upon them all the jewels of the title and all it entails, power greater than the Prince of Wales. The first champion throws well, landing close enough to dwell within an inch of victory, a victory that alas was contradictory to the plans of the other two, who conspired to screw the first by throwing at his mark, knowing that if they can drive his mark off, they can thrive. The second missed his throw, but it was close enough to know that the second went for the first. And as the first cursed, the third threw his straight and true, and hit the first so hard it flew right off the board. In this way the first was floored. "Not fair," the first cried out, "this is not a fair bout." The judge, solemn and grave, made a judgment that gave the win to the second and the third. This ruling was quite absurd, but the judge ruled with his heart, like Paris did with the golden tart. The first was livid, his face was vivid, with the red of anger and frustration. He felt like he was facing castration. But alas, he could do nothing, even though the ruling was disgusting. He had sworn to uphold the ruling, even though it left him out in the cold. The first then conceded and yielded to the second and third, who now wielded the possibility to win. And with great chagrin, they now turned on each other, even though they were blood brothers. Now we are back to present day, and stand before the two, one of whom will lead us this day. They are poised to win at whatever cost, to crush and ruin their hated foe. The second readied his throw, and threw it with all his might. And lo, it hit the mark true, and pierced it straight through. The second whooped with joy, he thought he had won it all. But the third only laughed, and said, "I can still win, my friend." And saying that, he threw his mark, and hit his opponent's mark. And like Robin Hood he doth split his opponent's throat, and give himself the victorious throw. And with this the contest is over. The third went to claim his title, as he was prepared to speak. A messenger appeared, like swift-footed Hermes, messenger of the gods, and spoke to our new leader. He said, "John, David, Mom says to come home. It's time for dinner." And with that command, we looked up and saw with horror that the sun had nearly set. We could not believe it. We had wasted the whole day playing cornhole.